This podcast is for educational and entertainment purposes only. Listener discretion is advised as some cases contain graphic content. We mean no disrespect to anyone we discuss in this podcast except our exes. Everyone is innocent until proven guilty. However, we will be expressing our personal opinions. Buckle up, Buttercup.
Hey everybody, it's Cynthia.
And I'm Wes, and this is Love and Luminol, a true crime podcast.
Woo, episode we don't know, but it's on Irene Torres.
Irene Torres.
Yeah, I'm so used to numbers, I'm not used to saying the name.
Just names, that's all
Just
we need.
name. Woo, let's get into it.
All right, here we go.
And we rocked through that intro.
Yeah,
I'm
that
getting
was
used to
probably
it,
the
guys.
quickest one we've got.
Pew!
We usually do a little small talk, but that was like,
No
here's the
shit
episode,
talk.
let's go.
No shit talk this time. Anyway, I did though, if you've seen my TikTok, I don't know when this video come out, if it's going to be way later, they're going to be like, yeah, old news. But I had a book talk, and I read this book.
Book
And
talk.
I used to love reading, and I read all the time, but 5 kids, I barely even read my text messages. Ask my mother. But I read this book.
She ignores mine all the time.
I do. It's Batman, because everything in this freaking house is Batman. But I read Batman.
Yeah, I don't know if you can even see it, but right over there. Right there. Batman. Right
Batman's
by the Love and Luminol
everywhere.
sign.
He has
Yeah.
a corner in our room, just strictly
Yeah.
Batman.
You know what I'll do is I'm going to record a video of my Batman collection in the room, and I'm going to post it to our TikTok or Instagram or something. Probably both.
Both.
That way you guys can see what she's talking about. It's
Yes.
pretty crazy.
But I read
And it's
this.
not even done yet.
It's not close, but it's not bad. It's Batman. I mean, they took a couple different, like, I guess, characteristics on him. Changed him a little bit, but it's still Batman. And I'm excited. I want to read the Catwoman one because they really changed her. She's got, like, tats, and she's like
Yeah, they got a whole other
underground
book, right?
wrestler. Yeah, there's a whole other book for Catwoman. They have a Superman one and a Wonder Woman one.
Nice.
A Harley Quinn one just came out.
Really?
Yes.
See, that wasn't even in the list when you were talking about it
I
before.
know. What's that girl?
Poison Ivy?
Canary? Something Canary?
Oh, yeah.
She has one too. I don't know who
Okay.
that is. I guess Birds of Prey lady.
Yes. So Birds of Prey, Canary, Huntress,
Yeah.
and
She don't have one, but
there was one other person. Harley Quinn was for a minute, but she's not really part of Birds of Prey. She
Yeah.
left. She was just in the movie to kind of boost the storyline. But
they're like, I
yeah,
know that girl. But yeah, I seen the Harley Quinn one and the Canary one, but I really want to read the Catwoman one because she's like this underground illegal fighter and stuff. So, but the
Sounds
next
interesting.
book I'm going to do is The Ritual. Some smut. Get into some smut. It's a favorite part of book talk.
yeah, she likes her smut books.
Anyway, do you know anything about Irene Torres?
No, never heard of it.
Never heard of her? I haven't either. Her
You haven't heard of it
boyfriend's
either? You're just doing this.
For research. I
You're
haven't
just
heard
like, I've not heard of this, so it's all new information for me
of
too.
I'll make this one up. No. Like, I've heard of her after researching her, after coming across her case, but
Yeah.
I've never heard of her, like, people generally talking about this case.
Okay.
But still, pretty decently known case. Probably because her boyfriend right there, here, I'll show you a picture of him. There he is. Mr. Dwayne Harrell Jr. is an MMA fighter.
Mm-hmm. He's in an octagon, so yep,
You can tell, can't you?
I can.
He is 28 years old. And that was her boyfriend at the time. And this is her. She was 24.
Okay.
Pretty.
Not bad.
They were in Nashville, Tennessee.
Nashville.
Nashville. We went through there
Yep.
a couple times. But he went 0-2 in professional MMA matches. I guess that means he won 2, lost none or something. I don't know.
0-2. No, no, 0 wins, 2 losses.
I don't know.
I think they do wins then losses.
But
it would be
then-
weird to do losses then wins.
I know, but I don't know. Because then it says he went unbeaten through 2 bouts in 2015, 2016. So,
I guess they go losses first.
I guess.
That's
it's
weird.
just weird, yeah.
I would assume they would do wins then losses. That just seems logical.
Yeah.
Like 2 wins, no losses. Why would you go
2 for
2
0.
losses?
0 for 2.
two loses?
Oh, no.
Or
I
why would
don't
you do?
know.
Yeah.
But it's just, who knows? But
0 losses, 2 wins.
he didn't lose nothing. But his coach was Chris Beasley. Never
Okay.
heard of him. I don't know if he was a very popular coach or what.
I'm not sure. I'm not into
Never heard.
MMA, so
No, that's what. But he suffered his first unanimous decision defeat to Irvin Jones at AFP Rising Stars. So I guess it was I guess the match went on so long, they're like, we're just going to pick somebody who looks less beat up.
kind of. Yeah. So there was
something
no
like that.
knockout and nobody
Tied out.
tapped out.
Yeah.
So you get to the time limit of the match,
And they just pick.
and then they go based on points. Usually,
Oh.
that's how boxing works too. So
Oh. Like UFC?
yeah, so UFC, boxing, MMA, all that stuff. If it goes past the time limit, the match is over, and then they go points like hits without blocks, things like that, and they give you points for every little
Yeah.
thing, and then they add them up and see who won. They do like a scorecard at the end.
Oh, so that was his first unanimous defeat. But 8 months later, in August of 2018, he competed under the M1 Global banner, featuring on the Angel Fight Promotions Road to M1 USA card. That's a lot of stuff. I don't know what it means.
I don't
If
either.
any of you watch MMA, you know what that means, I'm sure, but we don't do that. He never made it to the UFC or Bellator.
Okay.
So he never made it up to that
Those are the 2
level.
big ones.
Yeah, he never made the big leagues. But
I don't
he was
really
still
watch it, but
pretty
I know,
good.
I at least know those are the 2 big ones.
Yeah. He won over Kenny Vaughan, Vaughan, before
Okay.
going pro, before I guess getting recognized more and more.
Cool.
But he worked as a security guard at a bar.
They usually do.
And at that bar is where he met Irene.
Is
They
she
usually
a
work-
bartender?
No, I don't think she worked there.
Because she looks like a bartender to me.
Look like a bartender. I do have him
I've
here
dated some
somewhere.
bartenders. She looks like
Oh.
a bartender.
It's funny you said that, because she used to live in Florida and work at Helen Blaze's Brewing Company. So probably a bartender. Look at you. How do you know? You got
I don't know.
spidey senses on bartending chicks.
No, I just... Sorry, I know you're not supposed to do this, but I profile people. I do. So everybody does, but nobody likes to say they do. But if you have an experience that says this kind of person does these kind of things,
Yeah.
you usually, from that point on, when you see somebody similar, you're like, they're probably like that. So in her situation, she reminds me of people I've known who are bartenders and girls I've dated who are bartenders. So she looks like a bartender to me.
Makes sense.
So it's just,
You're right.
It's just a classification
assume
that
you're right.
you're not supposed to do, but everybody does.
I get, yeah. But she lived with her parents in Old Hickory. I guess that's somewhere near Nashville, Tennessee.
Yeah, I would assume so.
Old Hickory.
Old Hickory.
She has an older sister, Raina Douglas. I like that name, Raina.
Raina. That's an interesting name.
It's
I like
cute. Yeah. Their relationship was both you would assume, physically abusive and mentally abusive. The physical part was a little no-brainer there.
it. Why? Because he's a UFC fighter or
Yeah,
a MMA
that's one
fighter?
of those profiling things you just
Yep.
did. I'm like, he's got a lot of anger. He likes to beat up other men in the ring. I bet he's a little physical sometimes.
We do that with a lot of people.
Yeah, but-
Cops.
Uh-huh.
Cops were like, probably abusive at home.
Yeah, but not all of them are.
Not
so
all
it's
of them
kinda
are.
weird.
It's
It's just an assumption.
it
people
is,
make.
and it's a stereotype is
Yep.
what it is.
It's awful.
But it's not based on race. It's based on profession.
Yeah. Like they say most serial killers or something. Working at forestries or something, parks. I don't
Parks
know.
or
truckers. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a stereotype.
Stuff where they can be left alone for a while.
where left alone. Definitely not housewives, that's for sure.
Well, if they don't have any kids, they're left alone.
True.
That would be the perfect one.
But the day we're going to discuss is January 28th of 2023, this year.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're doing a brand new one.
Brand new. So brand new.
Brand new.
It's not even
Exclusive.
that I know of or could find settled yet when I did my research. So
I hate those.
I know.
Could you give me all this info? And then I'm like, and you're like, that's
but now
it.
you have something to Google later on. You're like, I wonder if they ever solved that. Like if they ever came to a conclusion there. But she broke up with Dwayne a month earlier. So December 29th of last year, she made a brave attempt to escape and left Dwayne while he was at work.
Okay.
She went to work and she's like, now's my chance. So she packed up some shit and left.
Run away.
Yeah, she went to her parents' house in the middle of the night and stayed there.
Okay.
So that was her chance to get out. Luckily she made it. She got out, lived with her parents. She was living with her parents when this horrible day occurred. But on January 28th, he waited for her outside the home to return from work around 1:30 a.m.
Uh-oh.
Because at that point, she's like, I don't want you around me. Leave me alone. Because I'm sure he was bugging her, stalking her, following her, just being this horrible little stalkerish ex. She's like, leave me alone. So he decided he's going to show up and just hang out and wait for her.
You know someone like that.
Yeah, and you know it never ends well. So when she got home, he snuck up behind her and ambushed her.
Of course.
Starting an argument. So he was starting an argument. Come back to me, probably, all that crap. It's your fault we broke up. You need to just come back. You know how they are.
Yep.
But he ended up getting aggravated at her and started stabbing her. And stabbing her
Damn.
over 17 times. There in her parents' driveway.
God.
And they actually had... he dumped her purse and a pair of her bloody pants in a nearby dumpster behind a grocery store.
Okay.
He drove to his apartment in Bellevue, and he put her body in a plastic storage bin and stuck it in the closet. Yeah. Irene's parents woke up and realized that she wasn't home from her work night. So they're a little concerned because obviously they know this guy's crazy. He's been bothering her. They get up. She's not home like she usually is. So they're like, what happened? And luckily, they have a surveillance camera outside.
Just
watching
like
their
us.
driveway. Yep, watching their driveway. And so they reviewed the footage, and they saw Dwayne dragging her out of the camera frame.
Man.
So they saw him dragging her across the driveway out of the frame, and didn't see her anymore. So they called the cops.
Call the cops. Say we got video.
Yep, for a welfare check.
Yep.
They said go to his apartment, welfare check. So Detective Derry Baltimore, decided he's going to investigate, check on the welfare.
Yep.
Her father, on the meantime, was calling Dwayne, be like, where's my daughter? We got cameras showing you were there.
Mm-hmm.
Where'd you go? And he's like, oh, we had a fight, argument. I dropped her off at a hotel where she wanted to stay and be alone. So she said she's resting at a hotel.
I dragged her away and then took her to a nice hotel.
Yeah. Dragged her away. We had an argument. She's done. I dropped her off at a hotel. She wanted to be alone. So, of course, he's like, yeah, okay, well, crap. So he's still questioning him a little bit. And then he says, well, I haven't really seen her since the previous Friday until last night. And there was an argument. She went and stayed at a hotel, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's all over the place. Like, I haven't seen her. Yeah, I've seen her. She's at a hotel. Like, he don't know. So her dad's like, okay. So her dad's like, you know what? I'm picking you up. Let's go. We're going to the hotel to get her. He's like, I'm coming to get you, boy. We're going to go find her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, let's go.
So, the dad went and was discussing it with them. He let the police know, hey, he says she's at this hotel. And they're like, all right, we'll meet you there. Like, we're concerned about it, too. Yeah. They're like, let's go. Let's see what's going on.
Right.
So, of course, the father's pushing him more. Like, hey, we're going. We're picking you up. The cops are meeting us there.
I wouldn't even said the cops
Yeah,
were
he's like,
meeting.
we're going. He's like, so he just confessed that I killed her and she's in my closet.
Fuck.
Yeah, just to the dad. He's just like, okay,
Well,
I killed her.
hope you liked the episode.
Yeah.
See you later. Bye.
So her dad obviously told the police, be like, this is what he said. And he was arrested. So that's a picture of them together. She's very pretty.
He don't look mean.
He don't look mean. That's the thing. He doesn't look mean. He doesn't look
He
like
looks
he goes
kinda
around punching people.
He looks kind of like nerdy. Like
Yeah, he's like a young kid.
Comics and stuff. Like
Yeah.
he doesn't look like. That's a better picture of her, by the way.
It is. It's a
She
better
looks
up
way
close
different.
Picture. Now she look like a bartender.
Not as much.
Not as much.
The other picture she does, she probably was ready for work.
Yeah, but here she's not. But yeah, they look nice and happy there, and it's just sad how this ended up. But that's him way different now.
Facial
Going to
hair makes him
trial.
look a little bit worse.
Yeah, facial hair makes him look a little meaner, but
Yeah, but before he looked very
he
normal
looks nice and never would have suspected a thing. But he was arrested, and the preliminary hearing was February 15th, so just a few months ago.
Okay.
Judge Marcus Floyd, he was the presiding judge.
Good old Marcus. He's a good guy.
You know?
No. I don't.
I was like, what? I knew you lived in Tennessee, so I believed you. I was like, wait, you know?
I was half expecting you to believe me. Like, oh,
You know, call him up. Let's get some deets.
let's get some deets. No, I don't know him.
But, and his attorney, I assume his attorney, I just put attorney, was Lord Getz. And he was charged with criminal homicide. Not first degree murder, not second degree, just some old criminal homicide.
Okay.
Don't know what that holds, but hopefully it holds a lot of time.
I don't know. We'll have to Google that.
Yeah.
I didn't bring my tablet this time. So
I'm
I would have
prepared.
Googled the difference between.
Yeah, I know it's a lesser charge than first degree murder, I believe. It's from what I gather. It's
Hold
not-
on. All right. So, got the tablet. And it looks like criminal homicide is just a broad term that could include first degree, second degree, voluntary
So it's just a
manslaughter,
general.
neglect, or vehicular homicide. So it's basically an overall, like an umbrella
Till they
term
get all their
until they get all
evidence,
this stuff together.
decide if it was planned, premeditated, all that
Yeah,
stuff.
once they figure that out, they can adjust the charge.
Nice.
So it's just
That's
to
good
get
to
a
know.
basic charge in there first.
Just to hold him, basically.
Yeah.
Makes sense. But he is being held
Thank you,
currently-
Google.
Thanks, Google. Held at Davidson County Detention Center without bond. So they're like, duh, he ain't getting bonded out.
And P.S. When I looked that up, I looked it up per Tennessee law. So I
Okay.
made sure it was
For the state.
for
That's
the
good.
state case.
And I believe that's interesting because if he was an MMA fighter, they assumed that he would be able to bond himself out probably.
Maybe, yeah.
So they're like, no bond. Hold him.
Maybe. I mean, just because you're an MMA fighter doesn't mean you got a way to
True.
bond yourself out.
But I wonder if that's why they put without bond, if they were afraid he could.
I think maybe they thought he would. I don't know. Maybe he had a connection that could get him out. Or he would run. I don't know.
Possibly. Who knows? But it's still ongoing. So they're still working out the deets. But on the surveillance video, which they are going to use in court, obviously, but in the background, if you enhance the audio, you can hear Irene screaming her head off.
Oh wow.
You can hear her screaming. It is horrible. And it's so sad because you can see him drag her off, and then you just hear her screaming. And knowing what's happening to her, you're like, oh, I can hear her screaming. The fact that I can hear her screaming on the camera and no one else was able to hear
We're
her.
not playing that, are we?
No, we're not playing that. No,
Okay.
we're not playing it.
Good.
But it was awful that, because if I was, I don't know, depends on how loud she's screaming, how close the neighbors were.
Yeah.
We figured her parents would have been like, but I've slept through some stuff when I'm like, oh,
True.
that didn't wake me
I
up.
slept through a lot.
And it's just sad. But her sister, this is a quote from her sister.
Mm-hmm.
And her sister stated in an interview, quote, while most 24-year-olds are planning their careers and futures and are optimistic about the world, Irene spent some of the last months of her young life abused, degraded, terrorized, and fearful. Irene
Wow.
showed immense bravery in leaving her abusive relationship and was so happy to start her new life with the support of her family, only to be hunted down in her front yard and brutally murdered 1 month later. End
That's
quote.
crazy.
Yeah. So she's like, she was excited. She was beaten, degraded, humiliated. She got out of there, was turning her life around, was getting support and loved, and then he wiped her out.
Wow.
It's horrible. And I know leaving, as you know, is extremely hard, extremely difficult
It
to leave
is.
relationships like that. And she did it, and that was extremely difficult to do. And the fact that it ended the way it is horrible.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
I mean, you would know.
Yeah.
You
That's
know
why
it-
I'm like trying not to cry. I know
I'm
it's
surprised you're
very,
doing
very
this
hard.
case
Yeah.
because
I know it's very, very difficult to get out. And it just drives me crazy because people are like, why don't you just get out, leave? And this is why.
Yeah.
You don't know what happens.
Yeah.
You never know what happens if you don't have that love and support and stuff. It's even harder. So just
Yeah.
keep that in mind. Please, if you know someone in that relationship, don't just say, why didn't you get out? Now you know why. They're scared. They're terrified.
So, if I can find it when I'm doing editing below here somewhere, we're going to put a hotline. So
Yeah.
if you're in that kind of situation, please give them a call.
Yeah, get help. They'll help you get out somewhere safe where you won't be tracked or found and stalked like
Yeah.
this.
I'll put up a hotline number for it.
Yes, because there's no sense in it, and you need to get out but safely.
Yeah.
But her sister made a GoFundMe, and the funds were used to pay for Irene's funeral and burial and things like that. And what was left over, they donated to other victims of domestic violence.
Wow.
So very sweet of them to help, I guess, other people get out and get places closed. Because when you want to, my situation's different because I owned the house. But if someone's being abused and they're in a relationship, most of the time you don't have the extra time to pack your stuff or your kids' stuff. You just grab a couple outfits and you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I guess this money went toward buying clothes and shoes and things that people need because you just want to get out safely. You don't have time to pack because you don't want them to know what you're doing.
No. Yeah. And
So
you
you
might
just-
not even pack anything.
Yeah,
you might
you
just
just
have time to
Get up and run. Grab
up
your
and
wallet
go.
and go.
Yeah.
So it was great that they did that. And so that was it. That's all about this case. A lot of people, when I Googled them, all I saw articles, of course, about this, but a majority of them talking about his 0-2 win. And I'm like, who cares? Like, good for
Why?
him. I know. That's all I saw was like MMA fighter, 0-2 win, 0-2, 0. I'm like, what? Like,
That's
okay.
crazy.
I know, but that's the end of this horribly saddening case.
Man,
I know, but
I don't get it.
sad.
Well, that was a quick one.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot.
Oh,
It's
was
still ongoing, so it wasn't no closure yet.
I guess if we find more,
If you guys
We'll
find
update
more,
it.
update us.
yeah, update us if you know
But
something. But if we find something, we'll
looked and
update.
looked, and this is all of info I found besides them talking about his wrestling stuff or boxing, whatever he did, MMA stuff. That was, I mean, good for him.
Get
He
it right.
trained-
It's MMA. It's an important part of this case.
Sorry. I understand you work hard, you
what
accomplished it
what was his
great,
win
but
record again? Because we really need to know.
0-2, and
I'm joking.
He beat
I was being
I don't know.
sarcastic.
I know. I was like 0-2, beat somebody, and just I don't know, voted out. I don't know. I wasn't paying attention to that. I was mainly wanting the crime details, but
Yeah.
horrible as it is. Hopefully the case is still ongoing. I know it takes months to get this stuff through the court system and finalized and done, but
Yeah.
so keep your eyes out.
Yeah. All right. So wanted to give a shout out to a couple people who did comments. The first one is Kayla Turner 5551. These are people who commented on our YouTube video of the episodes.
Yes, thank you guys.
So thank you for that. Great comment. She said that the episode was informative and she liked it. So happy about that. Next one was from our last episode. It was Cindy 9858. Now Cindy posted a long comment about just more information about the last case.
Answered some things we were like,
so thank you very much for that.
Thank
The
you.
episode was episode 20. Ellen Greenberg. Let's see here. So she said the reason police felt it was a suicide. Now, just to recap, she was stabbed like 20 something times.
Yeah, in the back
Back of the
area,
head,
chest,
neck, everywhere, and
Yeah.
that knife finally ended up sticking out of her chest.
zipped up in her jacket.
Zipped up in her jacket.
Yeah.
And was it her husband?
Boyfriend
Boyfriend came home, found her,
fiancé,
and
rolled a suicide.
yeah, they ruled it a suicide, which was so odd. Well, anyway, she said that the police felt that it was a suicide, supposedly no defense wounds, no sign of an intruder, her meds, and seeking a psychiatrist. So some of that we did know. We didn't know necessarily about the no defense wounds, though. That's
Yeah.
a new piece of
That's
information.
one I didn't know. I knew that
the-
she had some depression, some psych things.
And evidently they did check outside on like the balcony or whatever, and
Yeah,
it was
no
snowy
footprints.
and there was no footprints. So a lot of weird stuff with that.
Locked from the inside, I
yeah.
guess.
And then she said that to answer your question, who did the family know? So that was my question.
Yeah.
I thought maybe the boyfriend had connections to law enforcement or a judge or something. Because we had a similar case to that.
And he did, yeah.
Where he really did. Like
he
his
was a
parents
judge's
were.
son.
Yeah. So I thought maybe he had some connections. And she says Sam spoke to his uncle and cousin minute before breaking the door down. Fact was still on the phone when he entered the apartment, and his uncle told him to call 911. The relatives were there when police arrived. Both of them are lawyers. The
Interesting.
uncle, real big time lawyer, very well-to-do family. Yeah. So that could be a reason why it was so quick to be ruled a suicide,
Yeah,
even
some
though
criminal
the
background.
wounds, I mean, if you're stabbed 20-something times, it's pretty obvious you didn't do it yourself.
Yeah,
So
I
that was
don't know
just
this
weird.
lady, but if I was stabbed myself that many times, I definitely wouldn't have the sense of me to zip my jacket up over it. I'd be like, I'm just done.
Also, I guess there was a part where the apartment complex employees, I guess there was part of the story was that they had gone with him. So,
Yeah, there was some places I saw he kicked the door, and some other places I've read where he called like security for the apartment complex to come with him and try to so that he can get in, like saying, "Hey, I'm locked out. Can I bust in?" They're like, "Yeah, let's bust in."
yeah,
I've seen both ways. So
Sam, I guess Sam, the guy in question, said he told the police that the guard accompanied him to break the door down. The guard has since signed an affidavit saying he did not go with Sam, and their security footage also shows that the guard was not with him.
So that's probably why there was conflicting stories I was finding where some said he was with them, some said he wasn't.
Police did see this video. They insist the guard was with Sam, even though they've seen the video. So some of this is confusing,
Yeah.
but it's definitely new information. It
It's
just
good to
adds
know.
more questions, though, like what the hell
What's
was
the
going
yeah?
on?
What was the police thinking?
Yeah, so I mean, there's a lot more in here. You guys can go read it if you go to our
Check it
YouTube. It talks about the autopsy, and the uncle looks like filing a lawsuit against the apartment.
Her uncle or
The day-
Sam's?
No, so Sam's uncle. Yeah, let me talk about this. The other
Okay.
employee, apartment super, the lawyer uncle of Sam,
Of course.
wanted to get a suit for Sam from the apartment the day after Ellen's death. The super called police to see if she could let him in. Someone told her that it was not a crime scene, so yes, she could let him in. He also referred a crime scene cleanup company, which she hired, and they sterilized the place.
Oh Lord.
So any evidence that was there
Is gone.
long gone. And police said, no, suicide, bye. So,
I wonder if they just didn't want to. I don't know.
so I guess, so this part's interesting right here. The autopsy later that day said it was a homicide. So police had to return to the apartment to do forensics, but it was too late. They had already
Yeah.
cleaned it. So they just left it a suicide.
So they just said, never mind.
Super
That's
had recorded a
horrible.
video of the apartment before having it cleaned, just in case.
Yeah.
Turned it over to the police. They came to investigate. Yeah. Since then, it has gone missing.
The video?
Yes.
Well, that.
Speaking
okay.
of lost stuff, Ellen's file was found years later in a storage room, unmarked and under Christmas decorations.
Oh, God.
So this is looking more and more like the uncle, lawyer, whoever knew some people and
Yeah.
got this kind of thrown away.
I understood the video of the apartment before it was cleaned. I mean, how much can they do with that? They need forensics. Like, they need swaps and they need.
Yeah, I mean, they could-
The video they can use, but it's not going to hold
Once
much
the place
water.
is cleaned, they're done.
Yeah.
They got no evidence.
video
they
wouldn't
can't
have
do
been
nothing.
enough to-
But it's almost like they waited until then, and then they're like, now let's. Oh, too late.
Yeah, like, what part of this case from the start said suicide? Like, none of it to me.
20 stab wounds.
Besides
some
her
of them
medication,
being in the back
which
of the
is
head.
shitty.
There's no
to
way.
jump to suicide just because she was on medication is ridiculous.
Anyway, sorry to jump back to a previous case, but I thought those
Thank
comments were
you.
interesting, very new information. So thank you again,
And Kayla.
Cindy9858. You were amazing. You gave us a lot of new information. We appreciate you.
And Kayla for the other
And Kayla for the other one. Thank you for the positive
Thank you for
comment.
letting us
We
know
love
we're
you.
doing all right.
Yeah. But anybody, you guys, if you want to comment, you know some information we don't know, this shows you right here. We're going to go through it.
Yeah.
If it seems like something cool, we're going to tell everybody.
'Cause we all about
And even if you just
details.
want to make a comment, I mean, we're going to give shout outs like this all the time.
Yeah.
So like, just hit us up.
Just be nice to each other.
Yeah, if you're in the comments, and we've seen some other true crime podcasts on YouTube, the comments get a little crazy. People start arguing, calling each other names. You're an idiot. This is what happened. No, you're an idiot. Listen,
Be nice.
be nice to each other. Just opinions are opinions. It's cool.
You all get your information from different sources.
It's fine.
It happens.
If you have something negative to say about us, that's cool. Feel free to go to loveandluminol.com, go to the contact form,
Yeah.
hit
bring
us
it.
up. I have no problem getting it, responding to it,
Yeah.
asking why. We can have a discussion. It's cool.
Yeah.
We don't need to be mean all over comments and be stupid.
Yeah.
And I'm sure I'm going to say something stupid at some point that's going to piss somebody off, and they're going to want to say, I'm
like,
sure I already
listen.
have. I just haven't got caught with it yet.
Not to the right person listen to you yet.
Exactly. I mean, you can't please everyone. But, so yeah, loveandluminol.com. If you want to find us on your service, we're, video, YouTube and Spotify, audio, pretty much everywhere else. But if you go to the website, it'll give you a direct link to click, go right to it.
Yay.
Yeah. And again, like I said, you can hit us up on the contact form. And we're on social media pretty much everywhere except Twitter.
You're on that new one,
We're on
aren't
the
you?
new one, Threads.
Threading it.
Thank you, Mark Zuckerberg, for creating a Twitter
Twitter-like.
alternative. It's not huge yet, but within the first 24 hours, supposedly it's gotten more signups than any other social media in history. So that's pretty crazy.
It's impressive.
It shows how many people really don't like Elon Musk. But anyway, we're pretty much everywhere: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Threads. I don't know what else there is out there.
I don't know.
If there's something
Find
else we're
us.
not on, hit us up. We'll get on it.
Snapchat, we're on Snapchat.
Yeah, we're on Snapchat too.
Love and
So
Luminol.
Love and Luminol on all of that. That's pretty much all of our online presence. Was there something else you wanted to add that we need to tell them?
No, not that I could think of.
All right. Well, I guess we'll cut it there, and you guys have a wonderful evening, and thank you for joining us. See you later.
Yay, see ya.